Welcome back to the homestead. So something I've been thinking about, I wanted to make a video because no one really told us, and we kind of found out the hard way moving out to the country. So what are some things they don't tell you about moving out to the country? I think, Harry, you're not Harry. What are you guys doing? All right, it's goat moving day. It's really windy. Probably coming through the mic. Check on the chicks over here. What are you guys doing over here? We gotta fix that. It's coming down.
Yeah.
So we didn't buy a shocker knot, but we had this leftover stuff here, and the fence is on, so I'm not gonna touch it. Don't trick me. This is plastic chicken wire stuff. So we just put that on there, ran it around. It looks pretty sketch. Well, we're just trying to keep them in here. We had a runner. Oh, it's not on. We had a runner this morning, and she was out in the fields. So we went out, came out, put this here. We'll just zip tie it
Yeah.
later. So just to keep them from coming through these holes, because they'll usually go through the holes, these holes on the bottom here. They can usually fit through that, oh gosh, until they're maybe 3 months old. Even our big chickens, if they get scared enough, they'll squeeze through them little holes. So, but let's go move some goats.
Let's.
We need the golf cart.
I'll go get it.
What are you doing, Dolly? Matt. You guys want to come out for a little bit? Allie, what are you doing over there? What in tarnation? Oh. Deal's about to die here. And somebody's having a good time out there, I guess. What do you got going on, Tilly? Come on, Tilly. Stop jumping on people. All right, so we usually let the goats out, and they'll come out in the yard and eat around, have some fun while we move the fence. As you guys see, they're different nets. We had got this one when the goats were babies, and then we had this one. We were using it for our pigs
In Virginia.
in Virginia, so we just mixed them together because ain't nobody got money for all that. So there you go. I think we should switch.
Yeah.
Okay, now. So we're all done moving the goats. They were over here. Now, show you kind of, we got them all moved up. They're just chilling. And I got some decent stuff to eat. It's not coming in just yet, but we got some stuff growing, so we decided to move them. They're there just chilling, fat and happy. But we moved their little PlayStation and their hay feeder, and we flipped this thing upside down. Couldn't get a video of it earlier, but we pretty much just turn it upside down on the tin and just pull it with our golf cart wherever we need it. And then we got the two fences. We had this fence when they were kids. That way they couldn't fit through the holes. And then we have that smaller fence that we just hooked up to it. A little gap there. Probably have to come put some string on it or something. But yeah. But it looks nicer now. It's all this play area over here. We'll probably move them along the field. This part of the field grows pretty good. So we'll probably move them up towards the road and then kind of come back this side and then come right up the back of the chickens. Like I said, the chicken coop, that's all dead right there because it was winter. So there really wasn't much green coming in. But the chickens are pretty good. I don't even think they can really manage the area that they're in. I gotta go in and mow it, like I said before. So usually we just let them out when they're in there. They're kicking around, eating bugs and doing whatever, but they get the whole property most days. And then there's back areas where the pigs, next weekend, the pigs will go in that back part, and I'll move them into those trees. Those little trees come in with some leaves, so it'll be a little mini forest for them. Try to sneak up on the chicks here. And they're enjoying their new spot with our plastic rigged up fence. Like I said, we thought about getting that one from Premier One, that chick fence they have, but for the price, we already have the fence, and we kind of just use this big fence along here. I don't know if anyone's ever done it before, but because we didn't feel like, just for the few chicks that we got this year, maybe one day I'll build a chick area dedicated, but we just had the fence come in here, split it off, and had it come around. I don't know how good we can make that out. And come around and then meet up with the door over here. So really, we can open the door going here, open it wider going here. Most of the time we just step over the side of the fence and go in, check their water and whatnot. Just hanging out. What's up, chicks? It's their first day outside. So we let them out from their jail. Like I said, we lock them in the coop. That way they kind of get used to where their home is. And then at night, we have the light turn on inside the coop, and they'll see the light shining, and hopefully they'll go running inside for safety. But we have this. extension cord comes up, like I said, to that Wi-Fi plug. I'll show you guys again what's going on here. So the Wi-Fi plug, and we got the USB. Let me try to get this. So extension cord comes into the Wi-Fi plug, plugs into a USB light bulb, and then we have it set 30 minutes before the sun goes down. That light turns on, and then 45 minutes after, the light turns off, just in case they don't go in, and hopefully they like it. We'll do that for a few days. Once we see them start going in on their own, then we'll do away with the light bulb. Someone's a-hollering in there. I'll tell you what, something's going on. So yeah, that's it. And there's the chickens. We've been cleaning out the barn. Honey, what are you doing?
Trimming this thing. I don't think I can even hear.
What is it?
I don't know. It's a plant.
I think it's a yucca plant.
A what?
A yucca plant. I don't know if it's dying or not.
No, it's coming. Look, there's new. Ow! It poked me. There's new ones coming in.
Oh,
It's still alive.
yeah.
It's still alive.
This is our security system, so no one goes through this window.
It's very poking. Very, very poking.
It pokes me all the time when I'm mowing too. There she is in all her glory. A little studio area. So, it's not bad. I don't know what to do with it. Kind of want to turn it into a man cave. What do you guys think? Man cave. Most of the time I use it as like a wood shop. It's pretty cleaned up now. But put a TV over here. Watch your favorite YouTube channel, The Arkstead. Yeah. Welcome back to the Arkstead. So something I've been thinking about, I wanted to make a video because no one really told us. And we kind of found out the hard way moving out to the country. So what are some things they don't tell you about moving out to the country? I think the first thing, most important, at least to me, is food. So takeout, there's really no takeout anymore. I mean, you can if you want to stop at Pizza Hut or something on the way home, but you're gonna be heating that thing up when you get back home. So,
And of course, it always matters. It depends how far you live from a takeout area.
right, because we're 30 minutes. So in 30 minutes, your McDonald's is going to be cold. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, I don't know. It's almost not worth it at a certain point.
It's not that we haven't had takeout, family brings takeout and stuff, but I mean, by the time it gets here, you can notice like it's getting kind of cold. But, you would like to have warm meal, but that's one of the things of living out in the country.
And then next, I'd probably say, probably most important, is the water sucks. So it was kind of the same way in Virginia. We had a lot of iron in the water. Out here, we got a lot of iron and different stuff just from the farming throughout the year. So that stuff kind of gets down in the water. And so the water kind of sucks. We're on well here, so you kind of need to get a Berkey or some kind of filter system, or like a reverse osmosis or whole house. You're gonna need something because you ain't drinking that stuff that comes out of your faucet.
Yeah, or you'll have to, boil it if you want to be safe. I'm very picky about my water, so if it's boiled, I feel safer, not just drinking it out of the faucet just, right after. And it's like, nah.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. But, and then along the same lines as water is you got to think about power outages. So our electric company here is, they're a rural provider for the most part. So they kind of focus on rural, and they buy their electricity, and I don't know how it all works, but it's a co-op. And so there'll be power outages and whatnot, and they're pretty good. They probably get the power faster, get on faster after an outage than like the city does. So like I was saying, our neighbor's horses are coming over. We don't want them to jump the fence to say hi or anything. I don't know if you see them in the back. Yeah, power outages. And so along the same lines as water, well, we're on well out here. And when you have a power outage, you got to think about how you're going to get water. So I know the folks out in North Carolina, when they had the hurricane out there, there was a fella on YouTube that I've seen, and he kind of brought up that point, and I never really thought about it until he said something. He said, well, if you have no power, you have no water, because your well doesn't have power.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, shoot, that didn't really click. Dolly, come here. No.
Come here. Aw.
Millie, come on.
Can you see the horses? Our neighbor's horse?
There's our neighbor's horses back there. The dogs are all curious. So you got to think about that and make sure you got a generator. One that can run the well. Get you a little plug for the outside so you can plug your house in. We have battery packs, so those kind of help. Charge the phones. We have little USB lights like the one I showed in the chicken coop.
We've never tried it, but I've heard to fill up your tub.
Oh yeah, you can fill up your tub with water.
We've never tried that, so.
But we have big barrels we put in the barn, and we fill them with water. We have those camping 5-gallon water jugs that we fill with water. So that's what we do. And then because we're 30 minutes out, but we're talking big
Yeah.
stores, big places, the Home Depot, the box stores, the grocery store, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of talking about. So the other thing is tradesmen, like plumbers, electricians, those sort of thing. They don't really like coming out here, I feel like. Maybe it's just me, but every time I call somebody to come out, it's like they either give me super high quote or give me some other reason for me just to say never mind. It's like they don't like coming out here.
Or maybe it's just the norm, and we try to do everything ourselves, so when we do need to call someone, maybe that's the norm and we don't really know. I don't know.
But so that's the other thing. So either get used to it or learn how to do a lot of stuff on your own, which is kind of the direction we're going. Dolly, get over here. And then on the same token, Dolly, come here. Stop trying to go over there.
Lay down.
You stay over here. The same token, fire and security. So you got a fire out here, you better know what to do, or have a bunch of fire extinguishers or something, because I mean your house is going to be fully up before a fire truck gets out here. So
We've never had to use them, but I mean I know Bentley has a little fire department.
they have one, but I don't know. I don't even know. Maybe they respond out here. I don't know where they respond at. But I don't know if they're just for the little town there or if they'll actually come over here. And then security-wise, and I'll make a separate video about that, kind of what we got going on the farm for security, little things here and there. So
What we've tried,
being Air Force, that's kind of how I think, is a little more security-minded. We weren't the Army or the Marines, so we weren't out there, kill, and all that. But being Air Force, I kind of believe in force multiplying. So instead of one person going out, you have 2-3 people going out to assess a threat or whatever the case is. So same kind of thing on the farm, lights and driveway alarms and all that kind of stuff. So we'll kind of go through that on what we think is pretty good for the farm, because the cops aren't, like I said, cops are a little ways away, and it's the sheriff who's responding out here. So stuff can go down before they get out here. So be ready for that. The next thing I'd probably say is internet. The internet's awful. I don't know who it was. I think it was HughesNet is the one they have out here. I think Idea Tech moved in a little bit ago. But I mean, they wanted over $100 for a data cap. I don't know what the data cap was. And the internet was slow. I mean, it was like 20 or 25 megs. And so naturally, we got Starlink, and it was probably the best decision. Yeah, you pay it all up front, and I think it's $120 a month, but I mean, internet's super fast. I mean, it's probably faster and more reliable than what they have in the city here in Wichita. We made it out to the goats. So, and then the next thing, especially with having animals, what's up, girls? What's up, Allie? Maple. That's not camera ready business. Come on now. Especially with having animals, is neighbors. You got to rely on your neighbors. So I know a lot of times in the city, you could live somewhere and not even know who your neighbor is, never meet them before. But out here, you should probably get to know your neighbors, because what if something happens? They got to catch one of your animals. You know, you got a threat, or you got some people out here acting crazy out in the countryside and kind of back you up once again. You know, force multiplying. If it's just you going out to, you know, when a bump goes in the night, it's one thing. But if you and your neighbor are going out, you know, now you got two people out there, and possibly more, you know. All right, honey. What would you say? What else do you think there is? I'm gonna say bugs.
Yeah.
Bugs and critters. So moving out here, you know, you think, oh yeah, I'm going out to the country. There's probably some bugs out there. I think we underestimated them. So in Virginia, when we were out there, we underestimated those little killer hornet things. Out in Virginia, they have those like little, not even little, those like killer hornet things that come out at nighttime, and then they try to kill you when you go outside. It's ridiculous. You can't even go out and like let the dogs out, because you turn on the light and those things just zoom in, and it's like they're gonna murder you. They're like terrifying. So we underestimated that. We found a good spray for them that knocks them out cold. So we did that. But that was probably the one thing we underestimated. That, and we had to get used to the bears out there.
Yeah.
Making sure our trash was picked up, and after we had a cookout, cleaning up the yard and all that, make sure we didn't leave any like grease or an old cheeseburger laying out on the table or something.
We had a fox living in the front.
Oh,
Was
we
it a
did.
fox?
Yeah, we had a fox out there. He didn't really bother our chickens at all.
Thankfully.
So I said, listen here, Mr. Fox, you leave our chickens alone, you can stay up there, I won't bother you. So we had an agreement. I think it worked out. But we have one here too. He'll come up to the chicken fence once in a while. We'll catch him on camera, but so far he hasn't really gone in, and there's no way for him to get in there. So I mean, if you look at the coop, I mean, the bottom of the coop is a plywood floor. I mean, it's up off the ground. That door is automated, you know, the door closes. I mean, there's really no way, if he gets inside the fence at nighttime, there's really no way for him to kind of get up in the coop. So, but yeah, critters and all that. Chickens walking around. The old big boy over here watching all the girls. I don't know if you can see our little Elvis Presley chicken.
Which one?
The one right here.
Oh.
With her little floppy comb going on there. But yeah, when the weather warms up and it's nice out, whenever we're usually outside, we'll let them out. They'll run around and eat all our bugs. We got a tremendous locust problem, which is another thing for Kansas.
Oh, yes.
That we didn't have out in Virginia. I mean, the locusts here are just unbearable. I mean, there's time, it looks like biblical type locust stuff going on. So we noticed when we let them out and we let them kind of go crazy, the locust definitely cut down. But there was times where you could walk and it's like a sheet of paper is in your face, and it's just locusts. It's kind of disgusting. But there's old Winston checking me out. You got a problem, Winston? That's the grandpa. That's the son. And then the grandson is somewhere.
Somewhere.
Maybe with his ladies.
We'll put it on the compost.
Here's our barn cat, Dusty. Dusty! He's a good guy. He leaves our chickens alone. He's scared of the rooster. So
Yeah.
I think when he was a kitten, they poked him, and after that, he never messed with them again. They're just one happy family. All right, well that's it. We just kind of showed you a video of what we wanted to, or what we did this weekend. Like I said, getting ready for my mother-in-law's birthday next weekend. Have the family coming over. It'll be the first big event we have here. Like I said, we've been trying to figure out what to do with the studio. My original intention when I bought the house was to have my mother-in-law move in, kind of fix it up, renovate the studio, have her move in, and so she can be here on the farm. She's not ready to retire yet, so she said when that time comes, she'll definitely, move in that direction. But for now, she's still working, and she doesn't want the drive. So, but yeah, that's it. We'll show you guys what's going on, and we got our pigs coming this week, so we'll keep you guys updated on the pigs. But with the channel, with the Arkstead, we do want to keep God front and center, and kind of keep everybody's mind in that direction, and kind of help spread the word. I know we've had some people in our lives push us towards God, and we've always had faith, but in the past couple years, we've really kind of picked it up and got deeper, and we want to help others do that. And I know it could be controversial to some. At the end of the day, how I look at it is, if you're one of those people, maybe you don't believe, maybe you're having doubts, or whatever the case is, and you're really not strong in it, is just take a chance. Just take a step, take a chance, get into the Word, yes. Be open-minded, because at the end of the day, this is how I look at it. I have strong faith. I know it's true, but let's say you die and it's not true, and you learned all this stuff, and you kept the Word, and whatever the case is, it doesn't hurt nothing. You'll die the same way you would have died before. But if it is true and you were wrong, then, and you were in the Word, hey, maybe you'll be saved and you'll make it to heaven. So on the channel, we do want to help kind of spread the word and keep people's minds, in that direction, especially in today's world, what's going on and the division and all that that's happening. It's just good to be in the Word, Yeah. The book's an instruction manual on how to live life. So it'd be good to kind of read up on it.
We're not perfect.
Oh, no. Yeah, we're not. And that's the thing. I mean, sometimes I feel bad because there's other Christians out there that, they can recite a verse, or they know in, Mark chapter 6, and this is what he says, and I have bad memory. I can't remember that, but I know what the Word says. I can't throw out a verse and where it's at. So if you do hear it, I'll probably be reading, but hey, if that's how I'll be able to tell you word for word, what the book says, and not how I interpreted it. So, but we won't really get too deep on that. We won't get too deep in theology and all that, but we'll just kind of, hey, if you're thinking about this, and this is what the book says about it. This is what's going on in the world. Hey, this is what the instruction manual says to do. So, but until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye, blessings.
All right, behind the scenes action. Dolly's going crazy. Here is whatever plant this is. This is what they did to it. Never mind the rake. We gotta put that rake somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, did they trim too much? Like I said, I feel like it's a yucca plant. I don't know, at least from Googling. What do you guys think? Did they do a good job or not? Focus, camera. We're capturing chickens. This is the raw, the real.
Where are you going?
The
You're
chicken
gonna
has
get
lost
stuck.
her mind. She's gonna get trapped. What is she gonna do? Where's she gonna go?
Well, calm
She has
down.
caught the chicken.
Calm.
He didn't like it. I don't know how good that comes up in the camera, but the light's on in there. So
Dude, we need to clean these.
hopefully they take notice and go inside.